more fluid. So
because there will be people actually watching the countdown. Yeah, what's the point?
possibly.
What's the point in a countdown if no one is? Is it truly a countdown if no one is there to see it? This
Exactly.
and more on today's Disney Universe podcast.
So it is warm. It is. Let me get the little banner here. We are live, so let some people chime in before we do the countdown.
We
But
should get a live temperature gauge on that ticker as well.
oh my gosh, no kidding. So, but it is warm, perfect slush weather.
It's hotter than the eye of Mara.
Nice.
I'm
So,
enjoying your shirt. I
oh
came with appropriate garb as well,
yes. So
and what I believe is your second and my third or fourth favorite baseball team.
that is correct. Yes.
It's sad to say that my favorite giveaway might not ever be from the Giants. It's this corduroy hat from an Angels Giants game, but
Oh, yeah. You guys were talking about that when we were in San Francisco.
Farmer John, brought to you by Farmer John.
Nice. You know what else is brought to you by Farmer John? I don't know, but hey,
Hey, Farmer John, Disney Universe Podcast is looking for sausage sponsors.
we will take the sausage sponsor. Oh,
It's
okay.
morning. It's breakfast. It's appropriate.
It is.
Breakfast
That's awesome.
with the Disney Universe and Farmer John.
All right. Well, we got some people live, so welcome to the show. We're going to do the countdown now and get it done officially. So let it go. Hey, good morning. Welcome everybody to another episode of Sunday Morning DU or podcast episode 137. We are here Sunday morning having a great time. Well, we will be having a great time. I'm having a great time already. I don't know before the heat comes, but I am one of your co-hosts here, Joey, and joining me today is awesome Tiki Crawl planning co-host Alex. What's up, buddy?
How you doing? I don't think I had too much of a hangover from the Tiki Crawl. We'll have to do better next time.
Yeah, but but that was fun. If you guys didn't know, we did a San Francisco Tiki Crawl last weekend. There's some footage of that on our Tiki Cast Instagram. We had planned to go 4 or 5 and made it to 3, but
that just made it so we have a whole nother crawl ahead of us for next time.
Exactly, but the drinks were stiff. The company was awesome, and the tiki bars were amazing. So can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to measure up to those 3 bars we went to. But as we had mentioned, San Francisco is one of the only cities I know of where there's so many tiki bars that you can actually have a crawl, let alone 2. So definitely go check out the Tiki Cast if you want to hear more about our adventures there. And stay tuned to hear Disney Universe Podcast and the DU Tiki Cast to learn about the next time we'll be getting the DU Tiki Crawl down in San Francisco. Maybe we'll tie it into a family museum visit.
Ooh, that'd be amazing. So, yeah. But hey, we're live on YouTube. So if you guys are watching via YouTube, be sure to hit the like and all that smash YouTube jargon. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a little heart or whatever. Comment, let us know you guys are here. We want to say hi. We got a fun show. We're going to be giving our reviews of Pixar's Elemental, a non-spoilery review of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, only because it's only been out for the long weekend, but we might give a little minor spoilers. Also reviewing the latest documentary on Disney Plus, the Stan Lee documentary. So give us your feedback on what you thought on any of those. We got some fun news items, some banter, and as you can see, Ryan's not here. He is photographing weddings as he does in the summertime. So he will be back soon when he's not so busy.
Yes, and a happy belated Canada Day.
Yes, So
hey, for me and Mei Lee and the greatest Disney park song ever, Canada, You're a Lifetime Journey.
Yes. Oh, I should close. I would close the show out with that, but since we're on the corner of 4th of July, we'll close the show out with something a little more patriotic.
Maybe
Yes.
for the audio version, we can open with Canada and close with something patriotic.
Yeah,
Star Spangled Man, baby.
Yeah, with a
this
man.
ain't Star Spangled Man, but he's Captain America.
He's spangly. But before we get to all that fun stuff, we do got a little bit of mousekeeping. So the show is brought to you by our good friends at Neverland Trading. It's a great site for awesome Disney, Marvel, Star Wars shirts, accessories, hats, all that good stuff. And good if you want to show off some really cool merch, just head over to their site and hit the little promo at the end, neverlandtrading.com. You just hit DVERS. You can see it on our YouTube. For those listening, that code is DVERSE, and you'll get a nice little discount and look pretty sharp when you're at the parks or just anywhere you love showing off Disney. Your love for Disney and everything in between. Of course, our good friends at Discord Apparel. Shop is closing, so I think everything is still 50% off until it's sold. So give our buddy Matt a little hand there. And it's at the website is www.dizcore.com. And yeah, congratulations once again on getting that house. Got to do that family stuff. And of course, we could not do our show without our super special crew members that Alex is going to shout out right now. So
yeah, the DU crew, it's getting bigger. Jump on in. There's a crew member right there. What up, Sean?
What up, Sean?
But yes, we love our DU crew that are our patrons from Patreon. If you want to become part of our crew, there are 2 tiers for $2 or $5, I believe. I don't know. You'll find out when you go there because I know you want to join us. We've got awesome stuff like a Discord. We got a chat over on our Instagram where I've mentioned that we do most of our interaction, communication with everybody, including you helping us form what we talk about here on the show by contributing there over on Instagram. We've got awesome stuff that we're going to be sending out to our DU crew members, including, as we, I believe, showed on our last episode, our brand new awesome art of the Hatbox Goat from Sunken City Designs, Sunken City Lou. Really excited to get that on a shirt, on some slaps, and get those out to everybody. We will be getting those shirts for the whole crew. That's
yes.
The whole crew. So what do we call? We want to clip it like anybody who's part of the crew by the end of the summer.
Yeah, let's call it that. I'm just pulling up, see if I can pull up the image again. So I'm multitasking. So
we will be sending you brand new DU Disney Universe shirt with the Hatbox Goat design from Sunken City Designs. Awesome art that we're excited to get everywhere and get out in the parks for everybody. So go over to Patreon/DU Crew, find out how to join. And those people who are part of it already, the aforementioned Sean, we got Alfredo, we got Jen, we got Sasquatch, we got John, and our brand newest member, Monique. Shout out. Thanks for joining the crew.
Yes.
Excited to have you as part of the DU crew, and glad that you chose to listen, watch, join. Yeah, we're having fun here in the summer of live. You know, I know Joe already mentioned, and y'all watching me, seeing these double guns right here, know
pew pew.
Be found on YouTube at the DUTV on YouTube. And for all y'all listening who aren't watching, make sure you go over, check us out, give us a like, follow, subscribe. And those of you who are watching, make sure you're following and subscribing us on all our audio podcast locations where you can get all of the back catalog of what is now about to be 6 years of the Disney Universe podcast.
7, I think.
Ooh.
I gotta double check.
I mean, this
real
is
quick.
DU 137, so there's a huge backlog. Go check out all the awesome adventures we've had and conversations we've had here. Spotify, Apple. I did think I saw Stitchers going down, so not there, but Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. If there's somewhere you get your podcast and you can't get DU, hit us up so we can make sure that we're there. And of course, if you're following us and you have the ability to leave a review, please do that because it boosts the signal so more people can join us here as part of the crew with the DU.
Yeah, and this isn't the final image. I can't remember if I've shared this publicly with everybody, but this is basically our Hatbox Goat design by Sunken City Design. So this is one of the first iterations. So he actually has a dynamite stick coming out of his mouth like a cigar. I got that I think on Instagrams. But so this is just a little tease of what it's going to look like. But this isn't the final image. That's going to look awesome on a shirt, some stickers, like you said. So thank you, Lewis. I'm going to contact you today if you chime in here, and yeah, very cool.
Or if you don't, he's still going to contact you today.
I still am because we got to finish some stuff. So, but yeah, super excited.
We're super excited. And as I mentioned, if you join the DU crew, you can have that on a shirt sent to you courtesy of us because we're just so happy to have you be part of the crew. I'm excited to get one to wear myself. I know I was just telling Addie, we're going to be in the parks in like a month.
Yeah, crazy.
I can't wait, man.
But cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it for our mousekeeping. I think we'll just jump into the news here. Nothing like too big of news unless.
Well, speaking of parks, jumping right in, Rogers the Musical just debuted, I believe, yesterday or the day before. Media preview went live to the public on Friday. What's that, the 29th? Yeah. I'm stoked for it. It will be, I guess, super limited time as it debuted to the very end of June and is only going until the end of August. So
what's up?
We will be there first week of August. I intend to check out Rogers the Musical. And I just mentioned Star Spangled Man. I was telling Addie, I hope that's one of the musical numbers we get at least a snippet of. Be great to see that live.
And after credit stage scene of Sam Wilson, Captain American coming out.
A live singer would be great.
Yeah, so we will be there, like you said, early next month. We did have, I just want to show this off real quick. Friends of the show, Sarah from Skywalker Through Neverland and Courtney and Kelly from Neverland Clubhouse were there just yesterday and just gave a quick little review. So let me just cue this up really quick because, trying to figure out how to do stuff live. So
clickety clackety.
Clickety clack. Oh, let's see. Uh-oh. Hang on a sec.
We could turn this into PTI with the rundown there.
I know. It's like a pardon our pixie dust here. So let's get the audio. Here we go.
Emotional and just incredible.
Yeah. And even Peggy had like a moment and a story and a song as well.
And Nick Fury has a song, guys. Nick Fury.
Yes.
He was probably the hilarious one, most funny. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he added that little bit of humor that's always great for Marvel. Yeah.
So we definitely recommend it. 10 out of 10. So good. So good.
Yeah, it was great. Oh my gosh.
Should we?
And one more.
We are wearing these lanyards because we got the VIP experience to Rogers the Musical.
Yes, this is a $29 per person VIP experience, and it includes a souvenir popcorn bucket, a soda of your choice, and photo opportunities, plus a lounge area to wait in while like about 90 minutes before the show starts. And you get to go in early before anybody else.
You can basically pick whatever seat you want in the theater.
It was so cool. The only thing is we had to road drop the parking lot. 7 a.m. They sell out fast.
Yeah, it was so early. So if you want this, if you come in to the park at 8 a.m., you're probably not getting it.
Yes.
You have to be like waiting to get into the park for rope drop.
But the good thing is I don't really think you need it because the virtual queue has been very smooth and standby has been getting in as well. So
there's 4 shows a day. There's a lot of opportunity, but it just makes you feel special, right? Exactly. And then you get the cool photo ops. So we had a
lot of cool photos taken, and they took a lot of time with our groups, and
we made friends. Lots of like-minded people.
Yeah,
which is what it's all about.
So make sure you go and see it before August 31st, because then it goes away. It's Broadway caliber, guys. See it.
Cool.
Sold.
Some good tips there. I was talking to Courtney last night, and I mean, $29 and you get a lot. So
yeah, I was gonna say that is definitely the cheapest VIP experience on property. I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Even cheaper than Genie Plus on some days.
yeah, no kidding. But it sounded like they were saying you got to get there early because there's only 100 of these per show, but the hotel guests get the first dibs before general
because they
public.
get early entry.
Right? Yeah. So
is this? I don't. My big question coming out of it, and I think Courtney might be watching with us, but is it something you have to go buy physically at a window somewhere, or is it through the app?
And it's physically. So,
okay.
So that's why because that's why when they get the early entry, a lot of hotel guests will go straight there. But
well, I'm hoping by the time we get there, it's mellowed out a little bit. I don't know if I'm gonna do I mean, having the reserve seat will be nice because obviously it gives us time to go do other things around the park. But yeah, like they mentioned, virtual queue is an option. Standby queue is an option. I'm interested in the food.
Yeah,
at the Hollywood Lounge. Got it.
So yeah, hit there first. So, and if you have any more information, let us know.
Star Spangled Sips. That's what I'm looking for. Shout out. Loved all your outfits too. All the Marvel. I saw the Guardians ears, the Wanda ears. Yeah, everybody was dressed very well for y'all in your reviews of the debut of Roger the Musical.
And another shout out to Skywalking and Neverland Clubhouse and Disney Holics. I will be joining them next weekend at the Hollywood Bowl for John Williams in concert. So this is a bucket list thing for me. So I'm so super excited. So
have you decided what John Williams property to represent there?
Yeah, I actually got, it's far away, but I ordered me a special Roosevelt shirt specifically for this night.
Nice.
And I haven't worn it yet. I could have worn it to our Tiki Crawl, but I'm saving it for John Williams. But
no, yes, I'm looking forward to seeing it. You know, we'll see the TikToks and the shorts over here on YouTube. So
oh yeah, but it's an awesome, beautiful Millennium Falcon shirt. So can't wait to. But
right on. As a sidebar, and I don't know if you have it available to pull up, but speaking of beautiful Millennium Falcon shirt, the Sacramento River Cats and their Star Wars night coming up July 15th. And I know I shared with you just recently a screenshot of the jerseys the River Cats will be wearing that night.
Yeah. Do you remember was it my personal?
I can't remember if it was text or messenger.
Yeah. I'm looking right now if you want to bring it up. There it is.
If I find it, I'm going to just have to show it through the camera here.
I got it.
Oh, nice.
So you continue about the game? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So the Star Wars night, Saturday, July 15th. They are going to have presumably Star Wars themed fireworks. Oh my God, dude, that's so cool.
Beautiful.
I would be really mad if they're not selling those for the public. This picture, generally when they do special event games, the team wears a special jersey and then they do an auction for their community fund, jerseys off our backs, where you can actually bid for the jerseys from all the individual players. Unfortunately, I'm not in my professional minor league baseball player athlete form, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit any of these, but I might get one just to put on the wall. It's amazing. Coffee delivery.
Yeah, hey, I need the coffee delivery. But that's awesome.
Yeah, so Saturday the 15th, fireworks, Star Wars themed fireworks. There'll be cosplayers there. I remember a few stormtroopers and Ewok. And if it's anything like the weather this weekend, I will be bringing some Jawa juice or something for the Ewoks to cool down. Because
So, and I just want to describe this really quick for our audio listeners, but the jersey is kind of like a pullover jersey, and it's the original poster for New Hope, or as it was called in 1977, Star Wars. So then across is just the Sacramento, and the shoulders and arms have kind of like a little space pattern with the River Cats RC logo on the left arm. So yeah, this is awesome. So hopefully, I don't think they'll sell it, but the good cause is the auction. It usually goes to like local charities and everything. So I might bid just to raise the price up. So they get a good
price. I'm going to write down a number that I won't be mad to take one of those home for, and I will tell myself that I am not going to bid up.
Yeah.
But I'll be standing near that table towards the end, that's for sure.
So if you're in the Sacramento area on July 15th, definitely look for us. We will be there. around the lawn area, but definitely around the beer garden. So
Yes,
we'll be
hanging
rolling.
out for the fireworks for sure.
Yeah, but cool. But let's say we got a little bit more uh, news.
Yeah, so we're going to the parks. We talked about Rogers the musical. The following trip in late September for my birthday, we're planning to go for Oogie Boogie Bash. Of course, a part of the festivities, but the part that is proving to be the biggest problem. And this isn't new news. Those of us who've bought tickets for special events through Disney know that there's always some snafu or just a trying battle within oneself, waiting in the queue waiting room, watching your little green line grow into the point where you can purchase tickets. But for those of us who attempted to this last Thursday, that green line did not go anywhere. Some people got into the waiting room early, but I believe about 10 minutes after 9, when tickets first went on sale, they had paused sales due to some sort of glitch in their system, and presumably tickets just selling too fast or people getting through the waiting room, whatever it is. And I think they had people sitting and waiting in that pause till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon before they said, hey, there ain't going to be any more ticket sales today, which is kind of a slap in the face for those of us who thought tickets weren't being sold, as it said things were paused. And basically the information we got is that at soonest this coming Thursday, July 6th, we will have information about how we can go on and purchase tickets. My only hope and speculation, my shot is that they're going to add dates. I think that between the Magic Key Holder on sale, which took place this last Tuesday, pretty much without a hitch, other than the fact that I think Magic Key Holders thought that they would just continue to sell tickets to them until they sold out. They did only allot a certain amount for each day, so those did sell out by about 5 o'clock during the Magic Key Holder on sale. Then more tickets got sold on Thursday. I think they're at a point where a lot of their ticket stock is probably sold for all of the dates. And so the only way to make this so it is not a bloodbath when the tickets go back on sale, or a social media bloodbath, I should say, is to add, I'm thinking somewhere between 5 to 10 more dates. Right now, they have 25 dates between the 1st of September and Halloween. And that's running 3 days a week. They could easily add, if you're adding 10 more dates, just pick, probably the 5 weeks leading up to Halloween and add a Tuesday and a Saturday, or maybe even split it up. In the earlier half in September, you add a Tuesday, and in the weeks leading up to Halloween, add a Saturday, or flip-flop it, whatever you want to do to keep your normal park homeostasis going. But I hope we get our tickets. I hope everybody who wants to gets their tickets, even though I know in life you cannot make everyone happy, and that will not be a reality. So at least for me, I hope everybody I told to buy those tickets when they go on sale heeded the warning, has been granted this extra pass by this technological snafu, and is ready with me to be on the front lines this Thursday, July 6th, and fight.
All right. So excited. He ended his internet there. So, well, right on. I guess he'll be back here soon. He got super excited there. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go. I'm not sure yet. If you guys are in the comments going, let us know when you are going, if you're able to get tickets, if you're able to get a Magic Key pass before that. But yeah, I was just going to mention it's just weird that they can't compensate for the website, can't hold that many people. I don't say not hold that many people, but everything. So, all right. So, so Courtney is going October 5th. That should be a good time. So, can't wait to see your guys' footage there from Neverland Clubhouse and Skywalking. Yeah, I was going to bring up the next story, but I'll wait for Alex to get in here. How you guys doing right now? Yeah. Anybody else going to Oogie Boogie? So was not expecting that to happen. This is awkward. This is why I have co-hosts, because I can't do the show alone because I don't like talking by myself. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go. Probably won't though. Just got I'll just throw it out here. Just got a new job, so it's going to throw off some of my scheduled stuff, plus coaching football. But we'll see how that goes. There will be plenty of tickets, so yeah, hopefully for the 5th or just in general. Oh, well, the people that didn't get tickets last weekend. So, but that'll be a lot of fun. Hey, there he is. Let's pull him back up there.
On a roll too. Speaking of technical snafus,
exactly. I'm like, did you do that on purpose? Is Disney running our website here? Because
Jesus.
I was like, you got so excited, the internet blew. So.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to myself. Did I just blow the internet with my emotion?
I was like, preach, brother, preach.
Join me on the front lines July 6th when we get our Oogie Boogie Bash tickets, everybody. We're going to see Lotso Huggin Bear, and he's going to smell like strawberries.
He better smell like strawberries, though. Is he going to? He's probably going to be the same place Sid is, huh? Maybe alternate him, you think?
I would guess that Pixar close to Toy Story Mania. Yeah.
Yeah. And since you pretty much called that at the last episode before they announced it, throw out another one. Maybe we'll see another villain. Maybe we'll see them.
I'm thinking, well, I think I mentioned before with the Evil Queen, she gave away the sour apple candy or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if we're going to get a strawberry candy. I doubt it, but like a strawberry Uncrustable would be amazing. Disney, since I know you're listening to me, strawberry Uncrustables from Lotso Huggin Bear. This is just the kind of love I need that would make me completely forget about any sort of technological snafus with you on sale of your Oogie Boogie tickets or what you did to our podcast just now.
Yes, absolutely.
Not talking to anyone specifically Disney.
That would be awesome, though. You know, you give it a little extra variety of the trick or treat. So,
I'm going to shoot for the stars. Chernabog. Can we get Chernabog?
Yeah, that'd be pretty badass. Well, cool. So I think that's it for Oogie Boogie. And this one is pretty cool. The next news item that we're going to end with, you shared with us, and I'm super excited for it. But I believe it's only at Cinemark theaters. Is that correct?
So some theaters are going to have some of the movies, but I think Cinemark is the only one that's going to have all 8. At least what I got. I don't know. Cinemark's my home base. So
yeah, same here.
You know, but for those of y'all, the media, or sorry, the info hit social media through all the different. I saw it through AMC. I saw it through Regal. So just check with your local cinema and see what they'll be showing. But they announced as part of Disney 100, and I believe 100 days out from the anniversary of the Disney company, which is October 16th. Anniversary being 2023, founding being 1923. They 100 days leading to, they are going to show classic Disney films in theaters again for a limited run, each being 2 weeks long. Do you have that image to pull up?
Yeah, I'll get it right now, but it is starting actually, because I was looking into it, but starts this coming Friday.
That's right, July 7th.
Yes, with Pirates of the Caribbean,
which we're going
Curse
to.
of the Black Pearl.
I'm going to at least at some point in that 2 week span. Excited to see of all the movies. I think that's the one I'd be most excited to see back on the big screen.
Yeah,
you know, got the big Bruckheimer explosions, special effects, action sequences, especially coming off of Indiana Jones. That's the sort of vibe I want in the theater. I might get back for one of those other Disney and Pixar classics. Toy Story might be a fun one to see.
Yeah, so I don't have the dates here, but I know, like I said, starting with Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and then in no specific order, we got Toy Story.
Hold on, I got it on Instagram. I know where to find it.
Well, yeah.
We got Movie Magic. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Y'all post a lot. It's all in between Barbenheimer, Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that's a crazy mashup. Courtney
I
says
thought
no
I'd be able to find it quickly.
AMC, or for at least Pirates. So well, that's a bummer.
Tuka. There it is. All right, we got a link in bio. So I don't have the dates. So I think you're looking at the same thing as me.
Yeah. So, but like I said, besides Pirates of the Caribbean, in no specific order, we got Toy Story, Frozen, Moana, Coco, The Incredibles, The Lion King, and Beauty and the Beast. So,
all right,
all bangers. But I'm surprised there's not like some
I've
of the
gotten
older
to the
films.
link in bio.
Oh, right on.
It's 407 years ago. Abraham Lincoln was just kidding. Lincoln bio, get it?
Got it.
So starting July 7th, we got the original Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. July 21st will be Toy Story, the first fully computer animated feature film. That'll be back in theaters on July 21st. August 4th, Frozen, the original Frozen, returns back to theaters, followed by Beauty and the Beast, original animated 1991 classic. That is August 18th. The Incredibles comes to theaters September 1st, followed by Coco on September 15th. The original Lion King animated classic from 1994, September 29th. And finally concluding with Moana on October 13th. So all these movies will be in Cinemark theaters for a 2-week run. Not sure if they're doing like the special, kind of classic movie price, or if those will be priced at your normal ticketing prices for a normal movie. That being said, if you ride with Cinemark like we do, make sure you're part of the Cinemark Movie Club, or go on Tuesdays, those discount Tuesdays. I know for us here in the Sacramento area, cheapest ones up in Rockland and Roseville, $5.75 a movie.
Yeah. Not sponsored, but if you want to give us a call.
Not sponsored, but we could be.
Yes.
It was funny. I was writing down notes for this episode, and I was like, "What? We need to figure out our own like Joe Siskel and Alex Ebert at the movies, since we're doing the whole Siskel and Ebert thing today."
Well, right on. So, let us know if you guys are going to go. I know I'm going to see most of those. I think I saw all originally in the theater.
It'd be nice if they had a ticket for, they sell a thing for like $50 where you can go see all of them at some point during the run.
Yeah.
I'd be more inclined to get that than to like sit here and decide. Because, let's be honest, they are all on Disney Plus,
Yeah. But after seeing Return of the Jedi on the big screen, there's still nothing better than seeing an old classic movie on the big screen.
For sure. And of course, we grew up in the era where Disney re-released classics in theaters. I do remember one of the first movies I remember going to see in a theater was the original Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So, obviously we're all grown up now. And for those of us with kids, having the opportunity to share these classics on the big screen with them, I'm sure is going to be quite the thrill. And so, as Joe said, if you are planning to go out, planning to, take your kids and introduce them to some of the Disney classics that made you fall in love with Disney, let us know. Tag us on Instagram if you're headed to the movies, because we'd love to share that back with everybody, with your permission, of course.
Yes. Awesome. And so that'll be it for the news. We got a couple things coming up, but before we get to what I kind of jokingly called Alex's Disney anniversaries, but I think that's a thing. I just want to share a few little things real quick, just some dates coming up really soon. So there we go. So a good friend of the show, fellow podcaster, he's a co-host of the Jungle podcast with Dr. Skipper Marley. Trevor Kelly is also a Sinatra-style crooner, and he has his own YouTube show, and they're doing Disney Night tomorrow night, July 3rd, on his YouTube and Twitch channel, so follow that. But the cool thing about it is co-host Tini Tal from the Tiki Cast will be joining him, along with Patrick Barnett. So if you like old Rat Pack, crooner style, Tony Bennett, Dean Martin style music with a little Disney flair, check out Trevor Kelly tomorrow on his YouTube and Twitch channel. And
if you had to pick a song that you'd like to hear in, lounge singer style, Disney song, I guess we're talking about. Because at first I'm like, oh, are they taking requests? Is this going to be like dueling pianos?
He does take requests sometimes.
I will definitely throw a super chat in there for a request. But what Disney song would you want to hear them sing in a
man,
lounge style? I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of something that like would be the most off kilter. Derezed was the first one, but I don't know how you sing what Daft Punk does.
So I'm going to go classic. I'm going to only because I know this version from. I have a Duke Ellington version of this song, but to have him sing it, and we know it's one of Walt's favorites, but "Feed the Birds" would be one of the first ones I throw out there.
Whistle While You Work came to mind. I think that's going to be an easy transition for that one.
Yeah. For a newer one that has a little bit of a jazzy take, "Friend Like Me." I mean, he's got that little big band swing. So
yeah, I was going to say a lot of that stuff from that era is going to be an easy transition to lounge. I was thinking like Sherman Brothers. That's almost their style. Like Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will be tuning in on Monday night. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so, sorry, I'm just like, I'm looking for something else here. Pardon our pixie dust.
No, I'm keep thinking, spitting out songs. Yeah, no, The Married Life is just an instrumental, but I love hearing that when I walk down Main Street. One of my all-time favorite Disney songs from the original 60s, maybe 50s, Parent Trap with Haley Mills, "Let's Get Together."
Oh, yeah.
That could be a great lounge song. And "Eye to Eye," I think all the millennial Disney fans' favorite Disney song. That would be a great lounge song too. See, now got my super chat fingers thinking.
I know, I'm just thinking, and I'm trying to think. I was trying to think one of the songs from Soul, but one of the John Baptiste, but "It's All Right" would be a good one. I'm going with jazzy themes, but
yeah, all the stuff that's like "Pirate's Life" for me. That would be a fun one. "Grim Grinning Ghosts." I
want to be like you. Ooh, ooh.
I'm hoping these are things that we're going to hear on Monday night.
Yeah. But the other thing I was looking for as we were talking, so I'm, doing multitasking. Another important date that we have, especially in the Sacramento area, our Tiki Bar. Real quick. Everybody Wants to Be a Cat would be a great one. So you're welcome. I thought Sean was just saying you're welcome, but
thank you, Sean.
Yes, thank you. But we know the Maui, you're welcome. But at a local Tiki Bar, the Jungle Bird is doing their 3rd annual Happiest Jungle Bird on Earth Disneyland theme pop-up that we both did the last couple years. And I mean, at the Star Wars one that they did in May, always a hit. The Disney one is even bigger. You see how many Disney fans actually are out in Sacramento, let alone Tiki fans. So we will be looking forward to this for the week of July 18th through the 23rd. Make reservations if there's any left by now. I know you were looking. We were both kind of looking the day they went on and got lucky.
Yeah, they were pretty much gone. Granted, we were looking for larger groups. So if you're coming in a pair, or a single, I'd say try and get there close to opening because the bar is always first come, first serve. That being said, at this point, you could probably still find a reservation for 2 people, maybe even 4. They do have a large outdoor patio in the back where a lot of the larger groups are going to get sat. But yeah, try and show up. It's always a fun pop-up with Disney themed drinks in Disney themed tiki glasses, as well as they try and do a nice little Disney parks themed food menu. I remember in years past, they've had turkey legs, they've had mini corn dogs. I think last year they did mini corn dog nachos, took that to
that's
the
what
next
I had.
level, churros, all kinds of stuff. And of course the Dole Whip, as we're seeing in the picture, which is always, I don't know if they just serve a plain Dole Whip at the bar, but they do have Dole Whip in some of their cocktails, which is what we're going there for. So
that's the Maiden Voyage. That's what it's called there. And they do have a regular non-alcoholic Dole Whip, but when you're at a tiki bar, why would you want a non-alcoholic Dole Whip?
Nowadays you can find those everywhere. You can get it at Costco.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a Dole Whip that's soaked in rum, delicious, and it's sneaky. It'll sneak up on you. So, yeah, we're looking forward. We're going, I believe, the opening Tuesday, which is the day after Disneyland's birthday, and
the day after we're going to have a show, I believe.
Yes, absolutely.
Which we'll talk about later at the end of this.
Yeah, and I don't have the graphic, but coming up this next Sunday, a friend of the show, friend of ours, we ran into him a couple times. Skipper Christian and Skipper Roy from Trader Sam's at Disneyland will be doing a guest bartending at the Jungle Bird. Sunday, July 9th.
Sunday, July 9th, 4 o'clock to 10 p.m. No reservations. Shout out to Anthony Bourdain, RIP.
Yeah.
Get there early. I'm sure there will be a bit of a queue just before they open at 4 o'clock. I will be trying to shoot there straight from work. I get off at 3:30, so expect to see me, my beautiful wife, some of our friends, Ashley and Aaron. I'm sure will be trying to roll. Anyone else who's in the area, or if you're not in the area and just a big fan of Trader Sam's Tiki Bar, come through. I'm thinking about bringing my gargoyle and asking Christian to make me a stone watcher so I can get the drink from the man in the glass the way it was intended to be. If you're planning to come, reach out, give us a shout, or just say hey when you're there. Of course, look forward to pictures. There it is. The original gargoyle.
Yes.
The OG. Hey.
OGG.
The OGG. OG gargoyle.
And I will be coming back from John Williams. So
yes. You gonna be back later that night? Are you driving?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we'll still be there. If we're still there, I'm gonna be one stone watcher from the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, I'll be in time ready for a tiki drink. But yeah, definitely if you're if you're in Sacramento, check that out. But I just want to share those dates real quick. So
three chances to catch us out at the Tiki Bar in July, and probably more for those familiar with the Fresh Hops podcast. Burning Barrel, the place where I work, and also makes excellent beers, has a collab beer coming out with the Jungle Bird Tiki Bar. So if you want to know more about that, make sure you're following Fresh Hops Podcast and Burning Barrel Brew Co. and the Jungle Bird 916 as well to find all the details on that coming out. I'm very excited for that one.
Oh, very cool. Awesome. So before we get to our topics, like you said, we got what I was calling Alex's Disney anniversaries. We got a few special ones coming up. And if you just want to start, I gotta use the bathroom real quick, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. I think he mentions Alex's Disney anniversaries. If you have been keeping up with the Disney Universe podcast, we early at the beginning of the year, I always kind of like to flip through the Disney catalog and see what movies have those milestone anniversaries. This year, some of our favorites, Sword in the Stone, Peter Pan, I believe Robin Hood as well, all celebrated milestone anniversaries. I like to look at rides as well with their milestones, but we had two big ones just in this last week, I believe. The first actually being a ride, an attraction at the parks. The Tiki Room celebrated its 60th anniversary, which I guess that puts us to 1963? So 1963 that opened. I think a lot of people do think that was an opening day attraction at the park, which it was not, but it was the earliest audio animatronic that we had in Disney parks, which obviously those birds begat everything. What's the most advanced audio animatronic? The Shaman of Song we have over at the Navi River Journey.
Yeah.
The Tiki Room was the spark that lit that fire for audio animatronics. Of course, we're just talking about Tiki Crawls and Tiki Casts. At least for us at our home park in Disneyland, I think the Tiki Room kind of ties that whole corner of the park together. With the what is it? Where Rosita's at now? That little eatery, Tropical Hideaway. Bengal Barbecue, my favorite quick service in the parks, which I did see has a new limited time plate coming out kind of as part of the pomp and circumstance around Indiana Jones. Of course, Indiana Jones there, soon to have reopened the Adventureland Treehouse. So yeah, the original Enchanted Tiki Room at Disneyland Park turned 60 years old. Any favorite moments, memories about the Tiki Room for you?
Well, this is the Tiki Room, or sorry, I kept throwing this. We recently did an episode on it on a Tiki Cast, and I said how important it is. You got to say Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, and I just messed that up. But
did I say that?
No, I it's one of those things on my, like, I gotta, some certain things we like. Oh, Mansion, Pirates, but when you say Tiki Room, you got to say Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room all the way through for the respect of the man. This is something I feel like I got to do every visit. I love the Tiki Room. This is what actually, between the Enchanted Tiki Room and Blue Hawaii, that's what got me into like Tiki culture and just a fan of that, because just that old retro. What is it? What's that term? The
nostalgia.
Well, that, but it'll come up to me. But this is something. Even when it was kind of annoying, there would be about 13 people inside because nobody liked it in the 90s, and it kind of recirculated and came back. I just love this. It's a great place to be air conditioned in as well. I've taken many naps on hot days inside the show just because it feels so good, and the cushiony seats. With the only attraction, you can actually enjoy a nice cold Dole Whip or pineapple juice. Sometimes I go just for the pineapple juice because it's that good.
I'm a half and half Dole Whip float.
Yeah, that's perfect. One of the ones that does stick out to me, that will always stick out to me, there's two memories. One of them is the first time I saw Tiki Maynard introduce the show.
I was going to ask if you've ever had that experience.
Yeah, and we'll share it. I still got to share it on the Tiki Cast, but if you haven't seen him open the show, it was so awesome. And of course, the first Tiki Day I went to, I've said this about Adventureland Day, you haven't ridden Jungle Cruise until you've ridden it with everybody dressed up all in adventure clothes. Well, you haven't seen the Tiki Room until the entire room is filled with people in Hawaiian shirts and Hawaiian dresses and the headdresses. So it adds that extra little element to it. But yeah, and check out the recent Tiki Cast, available wherever you listen to a podcast.
Do you know, is Maynard still at the parks?
He retired last year.
Okay.
Or over a year ago.
Well, I'm glad he went out on his own terms.
Yeah, but
as far as we know.
Friends of the show from the Sweep Spot podcast, they were at Rogers the Musical and actually ran into him and watched it with him. So he still hangs around the parks. He's still his wacky self, so which is always nice. What about you, sir?
As we're sitting here talking about this, I kind of flashed back to the Tiki Room. Is it still Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room in Florida?
I think it's just the Enchanted Tiki Room. If I'm wrong, correct me. Let me know. Anybody watching, but
I remember the queue that you wait in, and there's kind of a pre-show with the fire and the fountains, as there is a pre-show in the courtyard at the Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room at Disneyland as well. But I had just kind of had a flashback to early Disney World memories and remembering that sort of curved, tiered queue waiting to go in. So yeah, that was kind of cool just now remembering that. But I think that kind of sticks out for me for both of the attractions is how detailed and exciting. I don't know about excited, but how detailed and interesting the ride queue is. And you could almost say, attraction queue, that is a predecessor to a lot of these interactive queues that we see today, especially over in Disney World with Dumbo, Haunted Mansion, Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, just kind of changing the way we wait for these attractions and keeping the entertainment going all the way through. So that's something that sticks out for me from the Enchanted Tiki Room.
Yeah, and Courtney says it is Walt Disney's Tiki Room.
So Walt Disney's Tiki Room on the East Coast, Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room on the West Coast. Under old management,
and
not with Stitch. Also celebrated this week, 626 Day.
Did you see? Oh yeah, did you see the new management with Zazu and?
I did not. Oh. I feel like it's something I probably would have enjoyed then, but probably would feel the same way now as most people did then.
Yeah, I'll say I unfortunately did see it, and as excited as I was, but I saw a new Tiki Room. I'm glad it's back to the original. But one thing I did notice this last trip in January to Walt Disney World was one thing that really stands out about the Disneyland version is the clicking from the audio animatronics. Being that they're newer technology at Florida, they don't click, which takes away some of the charm. I think the flowers don't click, the birds. So I'm used to that.
Let's all sing like the birdies sing. Click, 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 click. Yes.
But oh yeah, I love the Tiki Room.
Well, cheers to 60 years of Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room at Disneyland and all the iterations it brought us around the globe. Shout out to that. And then the other big anniversary, which we just mentioned with our Cinemark Disney Classics returning for Disney 100, is the original Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Was that Michael Bay, Jerry Bruckheimer, right?
No, Gore Verbinski.
He did the first one?
He did the first three.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I always remember Bruckheimer and the connection to Bad Boys. And so, yeah. Let's blow some stuff up on pirate ships.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, Gore did the first three.
And that was 2003, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, 20 years of Pirates of the Caribbean. The movie, the character, Captain Jack Sparrow, you could argue has become just as big, if not bigger, than the original ride. Let's save that one for Undisputed.
Yeah, that's it. Sean Lewis, if you're here.
That's a good this or that. I definitely know what I'd pick, but I'd say to argue which one is bigger would be an interesting conversation. Remembering we're not talking about the ride right now. We're talking about the movie because I was about to go down that rabbit hole. I think there's, for me, favorite parts of the movie, just some of the pirate slang that they use, talking about invoke the right of parlay.
Oh yeah.
And what is the two kind of bumbling guys when we Caesar in the closet? Hello, puppet.
Hello, puppet.
And there's something else he says that I feel like I've introduced into my lexicon, but I cannot remember what it is right now. But shout out Barbossa. I think he's another great character. Another one we said we'd love to see at Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah. And I've said this for years, like Jack Sparrow. Well, I got to mention Jack Sparrow to mention Barbossa, but Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp's portrayal of this character became such an instant iconic classic Hollywood character that even if Johnny Depp wasn't in there, Barbossa could easily have been the greatest pirate filmed in movie, in my opinion. I grew up with tons of pirate movies, old Errol Flynn movies and all those Treasure Island. I mean, I love pirate movies, so I was so excited when this became a movie. I remember seeing the trailer. Well, first of all, I remember seeing the poster with the skeleton at the wheel, like we see on the attraction. Seeing that for the first time, like, oh, cool, we're getting a Pirates movie. Then they showed the trailer for the Matrix sequel, Reloaded, and I was excited to see that. But once I saw the trailer for Pirates, I was like, oh my god, I'm hooked, and it was amazing. So, but yeah, I love Barbossa. You know, I love Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow probably has one of the best character introductions in movie history. The first time we see him, it's just this movie is so good. We can easily do a whole show just on the Pirates, the 5 pirate movies, but especially the first one alone. But I got many favorite.
Get it up quickly, but I love those TikTok videos of the girl running like Jack Sparrow until she sees Jack Sparrow in the park.
Yeah, then he's chasing
one. But talking about, I'm gonna see if you can find it real quick. But talking about Barbossa and Jack Sparrow in that movie, I imagine Jeffrey Rush and Johnny Depp on set constantly one-upping each other in their pirateness.
Yeah.
And that is how we got two such iconic characters, you know?
Yeah.
You just got Johnny Depp like, and then Jeffrey Rush like, I. And
Just like,
back
what
and forth.
are you doing? No, what are you doing?
But those guys are so great, and I think that's a great example of two excellent actors building two excellent characters off of each other.
Yeah, because
even though they did, obviously interact in their own right, and they were both obviously very accomplished actors before coming into those roles.
Yeah.
But we, as the viewers, I think really were blessed and lucked out getting them for those, and so glad that they were both in so many of the films. And hope that if it is true that we get it back at some point, we can get both of those guys back.
Well, at least one of them, because Barbosa kind of died on the 5th.
Did he? Oh, no. Not in real life, though, right?
He sacrificed himself for his daughter.
I mean, no one ever really dies in movies.
That's true.
Right?
So we're talking about pirates, and Sam says Bestie, but I was thinking going back to pirates, like, hello, Beastie. So
Beastie.
I thought she was calling me Beastie. What's up, Sam? Hope you're feeling better. But I always said for years that like Jeffrey Rush almost single-handedly saved Disney movies in one summer, because he was Barbosa in Curse of the Black Pearl. Then later in the summer, he was the Pelican in Finding Nemo. That a lot of people forget about. He voiced the Pelican, the jump in my mouth if you want to live.
Nigel, right?
Was it Nigel? Yeah.
He sounds like a Nigel.
And those were the two biggest movies of that particular year. So
shout out to all the Nigels out there. I know neither of the Nigels I know sound like that. So
you'll call me Beastie from now on. Thanks, Sam. But one thing I love about this movie, and I think that's kind of like the genius of this film, is in so many pirate movies, the pirates are looking for treasure. That's, X marks the spot, find the treasure on the treasure map. This was the first pirate movie where the pirates are trying to give the treasure back because of the curse. And I think that's just, I don't know. I think that's just brilliant. It's out of the box, it's mystical, and it's, like I said, it's great. It's great storytelling. And I of course love Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley. I mean, I was hoping to get more. So as you're bringing this up, I thought I'd do a quick little show and tell. This was my Blu-ray of the first 3 films. Nice. It came out in this, and it came with a ticket for On Stranger Tides. That's how old this is. But the cool thing is, it's all 3 movies, but it comes with the pirate code. Than the movies like that. So plus a compass with a bonus disc. But it's actually, it is the actual pirate code, just a lot smaller than the one that they're selling. So just thought I would share that off real quick. As written by Morgan and Bartholomew. Happy anniversary, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Happy anniversary, Curse of the Black Pearl. We're looking forward to going to see you again next week.
Yes.
Well, now we're into the show. We are ready for the main event, the main dish. We've got 3 awesome movies that we did recently see, both in theaters and at home on Disney Plus. I say we start with Elemental because that's freshest in your head.
Yeah, and so Elemental, it's been out for a couple of weeks now, so we will get pretty spoilery on it. I think it's safe to do that. Then when we get to Indy, we'll be very careful with Indy. It's only been out for about 4 days, but anyways, yeah, Elemental, the latest Disney Pixar offering. I saw it yesterday. You saw it opening day, I believe, right? Or opening night?
Yes, yeah, we saw it like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, whatever.
So this was one at first that I thought the trailer it looked cool, but it didn't grab me at all. So I wasn't in a big rush to see it, but after hearing so many friends, not just friends, see it and like it, but I heard nothing but really good things about it. So I'm like, cool. I'll see it as soon as I can, especially when we're going to talk about it. And I thought it was a really good movie. It is probably, in my opinion, the best Pixar movie since Coco came out. I know that Pixar has been in my opinion, a kind of a slump. Some of that was due to COVID, that some of these movies weren't seen in the theaters, but others, I mean, also, besides Soul, the other ones didn't really grab my attention as well. But
It's kind of wild. People, like you say, since Coco came out, and it seems that was recent, although I believe Coco's celebrating a 5-year milestone this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a lot of Pixar movies since Coco came out.
Yeah. So Onward, Luca, Red, and
Strange World, Lightyear, Turning Red, Soul. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I thought it was
they were really churning them.
Yeah. The animation I thought was amazing. Pixar is always going to be on the top of animation. So, yeah, I mean, I could talk about different things after you kind of mention any first initial reactions or.
First initial reactions for me, I enjoyed the film. The animation was fun. I think what grabbed me initially was obviously the parallels in this movie with certain historical aspects as far as kind of immigration, and the movie starts with Ember's parents immigrating from like a fire world to, I don't even know, a water land. I can't really remember the evolution of it, but I'm pretty sure it was like water begat earth, begat air, and then finally the fire were like the last ones to show up.
Yeah.
And so throughout the movie, there's kind of these themes about how the other people of this world were kind of unsure about the fire people. They were kind of, put to their own corner of this land where they all live, the elements land or elemental land, we'll call it. And of course, there are a lot of parallels with the early immigrants to America. Mainly that, kind of Ellis Island arrival scene where they even, they say their names and the guy's like, I'm going to call you this and that.
Yeah.
They're kind of like that. That's what it is. So to me, at first viewing the movie, I was trying to figure how this would relate to kids. As I was telling people, I don't think any kids really under about 8 would get much from it. That being said, I have to remember that I am not a kid under 8. And I think one of the things that Pixar always excelled at is making movies that resonated with different age groups for different reasons. I think the animation was beautiful, and the interactions between the different type of characters, the earth, the wind, the water, and the fire were both fun visually, but also kind of like scientifically teaching you something about the way different elements interact with each other, which I thought was really cool. It's one of those situations where you sit down for entertainment and end up learning something. What do they call that? Funjucation or edutainment, right? Like Epcot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie had a lot of great moments and themes. The song Steal the Show from Lauv, which was kind of the theme for the movie, I really enjoyed that. Just a cool vibe, and it is a movie I will watch again, probably not until we get it on Disney Plus. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It had the moment at the end with Wade kind of sacrificing himself for Ember. I'm like just jumping straight to the spoiler here. But that moment reminded me a lot of Olaf's Some People Are Worth Melting For, which was such a quick moment in Frozen, but that got my waterworks going when he said that. I was like, in Elemental, same thing. I think, a lot of people going into it said, be prepared to get a little emotional in that moment, but even more so, the relationship between Ember and her father was a big one. And just kind of the theme or moral that as we grow up, and I think this is why it resonated for me as an older adult or younger old person, I don't know what you want to call it, who's gone through that age in transition that Ember has, and a lot of us have already, and where the younger kids aren't going to be there yet. But you have this reverence for your parents and all they have done for you in your lives, and you want to do right by them. But also in your heart, you want to pursue your dreams and follow something differently. And you have this worry that you're going to disappoint your parents. And I guess just kind of always remembering that your parents love you more than anything. And ultimately, they just want to see you succeed and be happy. So trust in your parents, and don't hide things and make it worse. Just trying to assume what's going to happen rather than have those open lines of communication.
Yeah, and even just piggybacking on that a little bit, it's like we think we get pressured from our parents to, follow in the footsteps, when in reality that's the pressure we put on ourselves at a young, maybe could be at a young age. So our parents will see that and like, oh, maybe they do want to follow. So they kind of encourage us to like, oh, well, when you're older, you'll be in charge of this because that's what you want. But when you realize your true dream, yeah, like we jump into the fungication. No, that was really cool, especially when you're able to see like how she turned sand into glass, and that whole science of all that stuff was really cool. But yeah, no, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. Few small gripes, but nothing worth like, I don't think ruin the movie or anything. So I really enjoyed it. I would love to see if I don't know how they can do these characters at the parks. I think it'd be very difficult, but it'd be very cool to see them in some way or another.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. It would be cool to see in the parks. I don't know if a full-on walk-around character is the right way, because I just can't see how they could pull that off without it looking really weird. I do think Elemental would make a great addition to Disney on Ice. They're already known for having weird Disney costumes.
Yeah.
So that would work out. And obviously ice is an element, so they could play that into it or whatever. There was the little kid character. I'm flipping through the cast. I believe he was Claude, the one that was always kind of trying to hit on Ember.
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of funny. And then I was just trying to scroll here for the name of the director, because I think the thing that got us both out of our seats to go and see this movie in the theater, Peter Sohn.
Yeah.
Peter Sohn. He kind of penned on our last episode. You saw the live reaction of Joe reading it, and which was the same reaction of myself and my wife reading it prior. But basically, his love letter to the movie itself. And they had character suits at the premiere, but have not shown up in the parks yet. We'll have to jump into the interwebs and see if we can pick up those visuals. But basically, just to summarize that, Peter Sohn talked about how the movie was really close to him, as his parents were immigrants, and he had this bonding moment with his mother when they would go and see movies, and how he would normally have to explain movies to her, translate. But with animation, you didn't have to have that same translation, because so much can be expressed through the animation that isn't normally expressed in movies with actors, because of the beautiful art that you're watching as well. And so that is what drove him to become an animator, and making this movie was really big for him. And then, of course, he shared that he had lost both his parents during production of this film. And there's a very nice heartfelt tribute at the very end of the credits, which I stuck around to see. I also did take my parents to see this movie, so it was hard for me to hold the tears in. I think I got most teary-eyed during the credits because of knowing all that. But it was a beautiful film. Kudos, Peter Sohn, for putting that together. And I'm very excited for the future of Pixar. Hopefully, this keeps us stepping up in the right direction and gets us back on that winning block that Pixar had been on for so many years.
Yeah, and even kudos to doing a movie without like any big time voice talent too.
There's a few in there, but the leads were not anyone huge. I was looking also a Mamadou Athie, who played Wade. He was in the recent Jurassic World movie. He's I'm pretty sure he was one of the raptor wranglers with Chris Pratt's character.
Oh, okay.
I think that was him. I'm pretty sure. Click.
And you mentioned like
yes, Jurassic World Dominion, the most recent one.
Oh, okay.
And then Catherine O'Hara, we know from Schitt's Creek. She plays Wade's mother. Schitt's Creek, many other things. Nightmare Before Christmas,
Sally,
Home Alone, yada yada.
And I recognize, or I noticed there's no John Ratzenberg. Is he done with his Pixar run of?
I felt like
voices?
at one point there was, at least kind of like they've done in the similar ones, have a character design that looked like John Ratzenberger. I couldn't tell you specifically where it was. I want to say it was probably the subway scene or the water monorail that they have in that.
Yeah.
Which also awesome ride potentially. I don't know. We already have a monorail. Let's add a water rail to the parks,
Especially over the lagoon, at least. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, add a water rail at Disney World to get like across the TTC or
Yeah.
which lagoon?
Well, I meant Tomorrowland, but
That lagoon's
That
too
too.
small.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we'd have to 86 the submarines, which pitchforks will come out from some people, but life goes on.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned about after this, Pixar going back up. Speaking of up, we got the little short.
Oh, that's right. I was
Yeah.
crying before they even started the movie.
So, what'd you think of the Carl's Date?
Carl's Date was great. It centers around Carl and Doug, and basically Carl getting asked on a date by a friend and not knowing what to do, as this is obviously his first date in many years since losing his wife Ellie. And as we all know from the movie Up, Doug has the little voice modulator where he's able to communicate with Carl, and so they're having this conversation as friends. But of course, Doug, being a dog, is giving his advice as to how he would befriend a female dog. He's sniff her backside and bring her a toy.
Yeah.
So that was really funny. And then, of course, you get that really heartfelt moment at the end of the short where he speaks to Ellie through the picture on the mantle, just talking about how she'll always be his first love, and that he'll always love her, and that it's time for him to, I don't know if the words move on or just kind of find new happiness for himself in his life.
Yeah.
And so that was touching, and I believe that was Ed Asner's last filmed anything.
His last role, yeah, which was,
we lost him a couple years ago, I believe. No,
about a year and a half, I think, but definitely in production for this, I would think. But so this was something I did not think we needed, just because I love Up so much. I'm like, you can't have him straying away from Ellie, but it was done so well. Then his relationship with Doug, I mean, it's just so, chalk it up to another iconic Disney Pixar buddy combo. So I really enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. Plus, like the fact that it was his last role, I mean, was a little emotional. And God, just how much Pixar just makes. I mean, the technology. I mean, how real he looked at times, looking like a cartoon still. I mean, his skin, his movements, Doug's hair. I mean, I don't know. It was a great short. So it turned me around, and I loved it. So
yeah, no, it was a great short. Put us in the right Pixar mood going into the movie. And I had forgotten about shorts airing before movies when it came up. I was like, I thought the movie was starting, and then I was like, oh yay, we get a short.
Yeah, and we get one on Wish too. That's supposed to be pretty interesting. So
did they say what it is yet, or
so they have? And while I talk this, if anybody in the comments, if you're still hanging around, if you have any thoughts on Elemental you'd like to share, go ahead and share it in the comments. But they did announce Wish is coming out with what they call a Night at the Museum style short based at Disney Animation Studios.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's basically apparently the two main characters in this short are Genie and Olaf.
Oh, I thought that had already hit Disney Plus. I had seen an image from that of the two.
Yeah. And Josh, and so after they announced it, and the picture is cool because you see like a drawing at, like a sketch.
That's
pad.
where I saw it through Josh Gad.
Yeah, and so it's Genie and Olaf coming out of the sketch pad at the studios. But so Josh mentioned like a few days later on his Instagram and I think Twitter as well. But he said at first he was really reluctant because when he was pitched the idea, they were mentioned like, oh yeah, we got stock audio from Robin Williams, and he's like. And like a lot of us, Robin Williams is so high on his pedestal, and he's like, I can't. That's my hero. I can't but he found out, or the studios told him that they were given permission by the Robin Williams estate to use the audio and the other audio, whatever they needed too, like behind the scenes or all that stuff. So the fact that the Robin's estate okayed it, Josh's like, okay, I got to do this now. So, and I'm sure we'll get plenty of other characters and scenes from known Disney films and cartoons. So, but the fact that it's Genie and Olaf, I think, is a good combination of characters to highlight a short.
Great combination of characters. Obviously, a really exciting, subject for a short for us Disney fans, and very appropriate, obviously, for the film that will, be carrying the torch into their next 100 years of Disney animation, Lord willing.
Yeah. So cool. And I'm just like flabbergasted. I didn't realize Wish was that style of animation until I saw the trailer on the big screen. That movie looks amazing. I'm really hoping it's as good as it looks, and I can't wait to see it on the big screen. So it's like the mixture of 2D animation, 3D, almost like an oil.
Everybody's trying to catch up with the Spider-Verse, man.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Which I still got to see that too, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah. Do we want to give ratings, or just move on to the next?
We could do ratings. Do we do that 10? So we'll go
5 and 5. 5 and 5, and add it to 10, or what?
Yeah. Go ahead, because I'm still thinking. Unless you're ready, just thinking too.
I'm gonna be lazy and go for the 3.5. I'm always stuck between 3 and 4. To me, a 4 is something that is just short of perfect, and I don't think it was that. But I think this was better than average, and obviously slightly altered due to the recent slump of Pixar films. So to me, I was just happy to be back for a Pixar movie. Seeing the short got me in that sort of happy Disney sense, of this is what to expect when going to the theater for one of these Disney Pixar animated films. And then for it to be a movie that kind of resonated with me more as an adult, I think that was really cool as well. I enjoyed the characters. I loved the animation and the story. So
cool.
I don't think we need a sequel, but I was glad with what we got.
Yeah, so I will agree with you. I'm on the out of 5. I'm on a 3.5, but I'm on the tipping over to 4 part of it. But yeah, everything you said, yeah, I totally agree. Also, yeah, we don't need a sequel, but I would be happy with a future short before another, just to see where they're at.
Future short would be cool, especially considering the elements. I could only assume, Wade and Ember trying to have children or something like that.
Yeah, seeing her at the school or the art school, just something minor. See what they're up to, because they are fun characters that had really tender moments. And though, yeah, I think a sequel would be too much, but a short here and there would be plenty. So very
7
enjoyable.
out of 10 from the Disney universe. Not bad.
Perfect. So next, I think we will go to Disney Plus and talk about the Stan Lee documentary called Stan Lee.
Stan Lee. It's a great title, starting right there.
Excelsior. That was too easy, but it took me a while to get to this just because of my work schedule and everything. But one thing Disney Plus is doing right is these documentaries, docuseries, and this just an added one. We get a lot of just the whole history of Stan, and get some of the dark stuff with him and Kirby and Ditko. But it was I thought it was a great documentary. I like the style of the little action figures, I guess, as you say. When I heard action figures, I was just thinking it was done like Robot Chicken. So, but I did like how this was done, and actually you could tell how involved he was into this before he passed. So, it was a great documentary. I know I'll see it multiple times. What about you?
Yeah, no, the action figure thing I thought was really cool way to portray what they were talking of, and I want to see a Marvel assembled for this movie just to see the making of all those action figures and what it took to place that. But as you just mentioned, you could tell this was kind of a final project. You know, the whole way it was done, it felt like he was just kind of sitting in a room telling someone his life story. And so for them to animate it in that way with the action figures was really cool. Obviously, we did get some video and pictures as well. Whenever I see a documentary like this, I'm always reminded of an MTV documentary series that used to air called Biorhythm, which was a series that was specifically in their own words. They were just showing through like music, videos, interview clips, and it was a timeline of, you know, different musicians' life, careers, things like that. So basically, anytime it's a documentary that is not with a narrator, or the narrator is the person that the movie is about, I always feel it's like they're telling you the story personally rather than someone else telling you the story about them, which I think is great filmmaking as well, because in reality, it is someone else telling you the story about them, you know, being the directors and producers of everything. But I thought it was really interesting. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole on the relationship between Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, as those are for the MCU enthusiast who isn't super familiar with the comics. Those are the two other names you hear most as far as being credited with creation of characters and comics, you know, in the credits of the MCU films. And I guess you kind of sidebar tangent. It's interesting because there are so many characters now in the MCU, and you don't really see many of the other creators getting credited with the stuff that they've made. You know, obviously countless other characters, especially the newer ones, the Moon Knights, the Miss Marvels, the America Chavez, things like that. So I think that is, while not really having much to do with Stan Lee here at this point, something of interest to me in how the relationship between Marvel Studios, Marvel Comics, and the actual, you know, animators and writers of these comics are getting credited with their works that are becoming these big blockbuster motion pictures. Bringing it back home, in the documentary, there is, as you mentioned, kind of a hot moment radio interview with Jack Kirby, where he seems to be kind of surprised with Stan Lee on the line in a time period in their relationship where it seems that they were kind of estranged, specifically stemming from who is taking or getting credit for the creation of Marvel characters. From Stan Lee's standpoint, these are characters and ideas that came from his head, that Jack Kirby was chosen as the person to, you know, draw and create. From Jack Kirby's standpoint, being that the person who drew and created them, it's kind of blasphemous to say that he wasn't, at least if not equal, almost more so, the creator of the character. Reason being, Stan Lee said that he could have had anybody draw and create this idea that came from his head. Obviously, we wouldn't have what we had today if it weren't for both of them, which I think is why we get credit for Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, mainly with Spider-Man. And they mentioned that in the documentary as well, how he went from Jack Kirby to Steve Ditko because Steve Ditko's drawing style fit the Spider-Man character better. And I think all of us can say that we couldn't imagine it any other way. Although with the Spider-Verse, we've seen that become, and obviously it does stem from the one original image and character, but so many different iterations of spider people and beings. But yeah, it was a cool dive into the man that for most of us, as I am saying, I am an MCU nerd, but a novice when it comes to Marvel as the comics. Just kind of more background between this guy who was an Easter egg in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And for me, it made me want to learn more about the history of the other people who helped Marvel become what it was.
Yeah, and that was a very uncomfortable phone call to listen to because it starts. You could tell they hadn't talked in years, and it starts off with them like, "Oh, remember the good old days," and so very being like, "Oh man, I miss you."
Well, then, you hear the host too. He's like, "We got someone who wants to wish you a happy birthday here."
Yeah.
I'm
then
like, "Oh
instantly
wow, that's
flips.
dirty." They were doing dirty radio tricks way back then.
Yeah. Then how quick it flipped to an argument. I was just like, I didn't know if I needed to pause it or fast forward it or not. But another part that really stuck out that I thought was amazing was when it was during this, and I loved how it broke it up in like certain years, but not just the years, but what big pop culture events were going on. You know, Jackie Robinson, moon landing, Vietnam. You know, I thought that was brilliant to show how the times were. But there's where it was in the early 70s, and there's a young man, you could tell he's later teens, maybe early 20s, talking about, you know, how like how older adults are now reading comics because of the stories and all this stuff. But they also had a guy that was a bigwig with DC, and he was just being an asshole, basically, like, comics are for kids and they don't need to know all this stuff. And he's like, well, that's why nobody reads Spider-Man or Superman or Batman that's older than 12. But Marvel, and
the audacity of that guy too. He was literally talking to his audience.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just saying, "Yeah, that's why you don't matter." And he's like, "I'm sitting right here." And kudos to that guy, kid, young adult, because he said everything he needed to say, perfectly poised.
Yeah.
You know.
And Stan just had a big grin, like,
"Oh yeah,
this is what we're doing." And just how much of a globetrotter, you know, knowing what's going on in the world, you know, that's how X-Men, you know, to deal with prejudices that were happening in our country and in the world, you know, coming out with Black Panther, you know, and a lot of people don't know this, but Black Panther was created before the Black Panthers, and but it was around the same era. But you know, having a black comic book character from Africa, you know, in a time but everybody's like, this is so cool, the diversity, even the background and everything. And
in like the very, very beginning of that timeline, I know it was mentioned when Wakanda Forever came out, but Namor, the Submariner, I believe the first comic or one of the first Marvel characters.
Yeah, one of the earliest.
We're talking 30s, 40s?
Yeah.
40s?
Yeah. So
wild.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought it was a great documentary. It kind of refueled a thought I had about I for years I thought I want a Stan Lee biopic, and got me thinking,
like a one with an actor playing him.
Yeah, an actual movie. And I was thinking, if you could cast Stan Lee, who would you think would be a good
Stan Lee fan cast? Obviously, we're probably looking at the younger, you know, the one who's a teenager becomes the editor-in-chief at Marvel, like, you know, de facto. And then they'll probably have to age him up for the back end.
It's tough, but
yeah, I'm trying to think back. He kind of reminds me of Hugh Hefner in his look. So I'm like thinking the pictures of young Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
He's a little old, but Hugo Weaving, the guy who plays the agent in Matrix and Elrond in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. He could be good.
A younger him.
So I'm going big with this. And I think he could play him throughout the decades and even slightly de-age him. But I think DiCaprio could be a good Stan Lee.
I had Leo in my head too as you were thinking and saying it. Stan Lee seems so nice. And this is where I got with the documentary and going down the rabbit hole, obviously, with the the discussion in question of who is really the creator of these things and taking credit and stuff. And when we spoke about this, I think the thing that came out of it for me is really wondering if Stan Lee was just a figurehead that was force fed to us to say like, hey, he almost reminds me of Buddy Christ in the Ask You verse. You know, it's like, hey, everybody, you know, look at Stan Lee, and you know, he's this nice older guy who came out with these awesome characters that we all love so much. Everybody, like, look at the Stan Lee cameo. You love Stan Lee. Look at Stan Lee.
Yeah.
I was first introduced to him from his cameo in Mallrats. That was the first time I ever saw Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And obviously, like all his letters, which was a big portion of it, back to the fans and stuff. He always had the right idea. And he seems like a really nice guy. So that's the part I want to uncover with these disagreements. You know, is he really that nice guy we all know, or at least were shown and told? That being said, DiCaprio doesn't seem that nice.
I gotcha.
From all the roles I've seen with DiCaprio, but it might be fitting. Maybe there's a dark side, you know, the behind closed doors.
The little
also, quick sidebar from the movie, the story of how he met his wife was great as well.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on her name, but it was basically he was meant to be set up on a date with another girl. He shows up at the shop where she's working and makes eye contact with his future wife. And I don't remember what she asked him, but it was basically, he was like, no, I'm here to see you. And the rest was history.
I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, her name Joan or Joni.
Joni.
So I just remembered a couple years ago there was a fan cast, and they showed a picture of Tom Holland and a young Stan Lee, and they actually looked pretty similar.
Being that he kind of took on to his role at such a young age, I think he would be a great cast for, you know, this young coffee boy turned editor-in-chief of Marvel. I think that would be really cool.
But no, very cool. So now that just popped up, but no, I thought it was great. I just want to share. I never got to meet him personally. He was a staple at a lot of conventions, but I did get to see one of his panels at a Wizard World in Portland. I just got this short video. I just want to share real quick. It's a little choppy. It's shot on a earlier Galaxy phone. So let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see.
Every single one. Probably whichever one was the shortest.
So real quick, he was just asked, like, what's his favorite comic that he came up with, I believe.
I can't tell you because I enjoyed writing all of them. You know, when you write something, you get an idea. And if you think the idea is a good idea, say, oh boy, and you write it, you're all excited, and if it turns out good, you're happy. Then later on, you get another idea, you go through it again. I'm not good at favorites. For example, people often ask me, what was your favorite movie? And I'll mention one that I liked, and then they'll remember, wait, there's another one I like just as much. But how about that one? In my briefcase, because I get asked that so often, I have a list of about 40 movies. And when anybody says, what's your favorite movie? I read all 40 of them. I don't know how you can have a favorite. There are so many good things all over. And especially the stories I wrote, each one is better than the other. But if I had to have a favorite, I'm sorry, you wave your hand, and I interrupt. Maybe you just have to scratch your head, I don't know. Yeah, all right. If I had to think of a favorite, maybe it's the first Fantastic Four story, because that's what started the whole thing, really. So, I don't know that it's my favorite, but it's the most historically important one. How's that for being profound?
I didn't hear which one he was talking about.
Oh, he did. say, oh, sorry about that. Now you just said the Fantastic Four. No, did the audio not come across?
No, I could hear what he was.
Oh.
I just never heard which one he said was his favorite or historic. I didn't hear which one he was talking about.
Oh, Fantastic Four.
Okay.
It was just his means the most, if he had to say that. So, Sean says Ryan Reynolds fan cast.
I like it.
Possibly.
He's kind of right there in between Hugo Weaving and Tom Holland, age-wise.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just being in that room with him is pretty iconic. So,
you know what would be great? To just forget the physical look of Stan Lee and have him be portrayed by different characters who've been in the movies in the MCU. So you have Tom Holland play like a younger one. You could have Hugh Jackman play like kind of the middle-aged one as he's kind of on his way out. And then I don't
Robert
know,
Downey Jr.?
Tommy Lee Jones play the older one or something.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to do that. So different interpretations, I think would be great. No, but yeah, great documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. And I mean, you get some dirt, which that's why I like that they a lot of these documentaries. I like that they're kind of giving you the dark side of the stories. But you're getting the full story that way. So, but fast forwarding to when he was announced as a Disney legend, he says he couldn't be a Disney legend or be where he's at without Jack Kirby. And hopefully someday Jack Kirby will be recognized as a Disney legend. So, but before we jump with Indy, let me share something real quick. Courtney shared with me the photo of what they looked like, Ember and Wade. So at the premiere, so these are the voices.
Those aren't bad.
Yeah, it looks better than I expected. So they'd be cool at the. Hopefully they have them at Pixar. I said Pixar Land. But
Pixar Pier.
Yeah, sorry, just like totally brain farted.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's Pixar Land.
But they look
cool.
I
mean, for being that they had a really high probability of them either looking bad or scary, those are really good considering.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like the best, but as technology and animation progresses, the ability to make a physical costume of them becomes harder and harder. So
yeah, especially with one character see-through and bubbling. So, but yeah, so let's move on to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This part will be,
we'll just call it instant reaction.
Instant reaction, spoiler free, maybe some minor spoilers, but no, I'll let you go first on this one.
Well, being spoiler free and the fact that I saw a 10 o'clock showing and nodded off through the little bit of the end, I can't say much to my gripe was with the ending, but again, that may be because I closed my eyes during part of it, but I felt it was very abrupt and not really fitting of the closing of the book on this character. Mm-hmm. That being said, everything I saw prior to that was awesome. It checked all the boxes, and the biggest gripe I could have with it is that as it's been written by many so far, trying to make us believe an octogenarian could legitimately do these physical sequences. So that all being said, it checked all the Indiana Jones boxes. It was definitely a fun story, fun characters. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character was a fun new addition. And if, as some have said, Disney is going to use its normal marketing arm to squeeze every last drop out of this franchise, be it without Harrison Ford or not, I would be happy to see her character continue on. I guess as part of the franchise. I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to see globe-trotting, action-packed, historical, albeit fake or not, this archaeological adventure franchise continue. It's just a lot of fun. I think it is what begat, things like Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Book, Tomb Raider, that Uncharted movie with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. All of those were a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
National Treasure.
National Treasure. All pay, the same way the Tiki Room begat what we know as audio animatronics. Indiana Jones kind of begat all these exciting globe-trotting adventure movies. So yeah, it was fun. I will definitely be going back to see it in theater again, either with a coffee or earlier in the day, if not both.
And I got to throw this out now, that where you kind of dozed off towards the end, I did that as well on Elemental, but that was because of the heat yesterday and how cool the AC was in. So when I kind of dozed off during the water, the water coming through, then all of a sudden it's like Wade's dead or something. Like, wait, what happened? But
I missed a part.
But fast forwarding to Indy, obviously, I'm all Indied out. Shout out! I took my dad for his birthday. Him and my mom. So, and we all loved it. It was. I was going to compare it to like the Force Awakens, where it was the ultimate Indiana Jones / Star Wars fan film, being that this was the first one not directed by Steven Spielberg. It was directed by James Mangold, which, if you're not familiar with him, he did The Wolverine, the one that took place in Japan, 3:10 to Yuma, which is a great Western, Logan, which is a great ending of Logan, Ford versus the Ferrari. I mean, so many awesome movies. Walk the Line. So
yeah, Ford versus Ferrari was his last film before this too, which is wild because that movie is at least 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure, if not more.
It's less, I think.
No,
it's gotta be like 3 or 4. But no, it was great. So I was actually excited when he was named as
4 years.
So no, I thought he did a great job. He was so excited to work on it when they showed showed it off at D23, and so Ford versus Ferrari came out during the pandemic. Yeah.
No, it says 2019 here, but
okay.
I'm sure we all watched it during the pandemic.
Yeah, probably. But this had the ultimate. It did feel like an indie film. I just want to jump real quick to Crystal Skull because everybody hates that. I don't hate that movie. It wasn't. I mean, it was bad, but not as bad as it lost me at the Swinging Monkeys. What I'll say, but it was not a good close to the Indiana Jones franchise. Being that the Last Crusade ended the franchise, I thought perfectly, literally riding off into the sunset. So, the fact that they did make an Indy 5 at first was a little hesitant, but I loved it. There were parts that kind of dragged a little, maybe went on a little long. I'll admit that, but I did like how he was, he's a 70-year-old man, 70 plus, maybe, I mean 80 in real life, but I think he's slightly younger as a character, and it showed that they didn't try to Hollywood where he could jump across he ran and he was running slow. He punched and he didn't have the same oomph as, even when he was swinging the whip. It's in the trailer. He's swinging the whip and missing everybody because he's just not swinging it as normal. But I mean, he showed his age. Let's see. So he was slated to work on this after Ford versus Ferrari, but delayed. Yes, thank you. Courtney, you're our official fact checker, so you're hired. But it just felt like an Indiana Jones film. I was worried about. I don't pay attention to too much clickbait, but this one got clickbait like crazy a year before it came out. The reports of the leaks that came out were completely false. So if you saw any of those early clickbait, and I'm not really going to say it here because I don't want to say it's spoilery. Well, it's not spoilery. A lot of the stories said the leak was he was being replaced by Phoebe Waller Bridge.
Phoebe Waller Bridge.
Thank you. And where there is most likely a future with her, it wasn't she's the new Indiana Jones, like a lot of people, like the leak said, and some other things that happened to his character did not happen. And so don't listen to the clickbait. And go see the movie for yourself. Enjoy it. It was very cool. And one thing that at first it really lulled, as much as I love John Williams, the music wasn't as triumphant as the past. But I should have shared it. But there's James Mangold was talking about having John Williams, and in the beginning when he's younger, you hear the themes and dun, 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 and all that. But then as he gets older, he's an older character. He's not that anymore. So that's where the themes are gone until he earns it back at the end, and which makes me now really enjoy the soundtrack, which I've been listening on Spotify. So, and it's brilliant. So I want to see it again. I thought it was it was kind of anticlimactic. Yes, I'll agree. But I thought it was a good ending and a good possible beginning of a new story.
Mads Mikkelsen as our villain. Love him as an actor in general. I think a trend that we've seen a lot in movies is a villain that you kind of agree with, or at least in this particular case, he tried to find this common bond with Indiana Jones. You and I are alike, or you and I aren't so different sort of idea. And I thought that was an interesting perspective, as they were both archaeologists, and you get that whole background from the opening flashback sequence. And then another thing for me coming into the movie, there was a lot of talk about the de-aging of Harrison Ford, even as much that scene that you see in the trailer with him riding the horse through Times Square. Is obviously a stunt actor, and they had to put his face on him. All that being said, if this is true of how much they used, deep fake, stunt actor, de-aging, it's a lot better than anything I've seen as of yet. It was really good, to the point where I almost, but if you weren't in the know, you might not notice.
Yeah.
Does that make, if I was a 12-year-old kid watching this movie, I'd have no idea.
Yeah. And they probably did a little bit more than planned, because as with Force Awakens, he did get hurt early in shooting, but they said, well, we can use the technology to do some of the other stunts. So, and going back to the villain, I think he was the best villain since Belloq in Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was also just like, he said it multiple times. We're the same person. I'm just willing to do this when you're not. But they're both archaeologists. They're both experts in their field. It just Indy's got a better moral compass than Belloq, and same with Voller, which is Mads Mikkelsen's character. But like I said, for people that might still be on the fence, I'm going to rank these movies, and you shared a link in our group message, and the ranking was my same ranking, which could be controversial, could be blasphemous for some people, but I'm going to go from top to bottom. And the top indie movie for me is Raiders of the Lost Ark, followed closely by The Last Crusade, closely. Some people have this, but Crusade over. But I can see that when they were introduced to Indiana Jones, I can see where they. Anyways, number 3, I'm putting Dial of Destiny at number 3. Leapfrogging Temple of Doom at 4, and of course Crystal Skull at 5. I grew up, I've seen Temple of the Doom the most, probably because as a kid when it came out. But I think as an overall film, Dial of Destiny is the 3rd best indie movie, in my opinion. So I feel confident saying that. I look weird saying it, but I feel confident saying that.
I think the Indiana Jones movies are classics. It's not like a super favorite of mine. I kind of hold them right there with Back to the Future and those classic trilogy movies that are there for you when there's a rainy day and you want something that not necessarily is going to be background, but something you're entertained every time you put it on, and it's got a lot of moments that you like to see. I will say I did watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull for the first time leading up to this movie. I wish I did not. We could probably do a whole podcast riffing on that one. I will only give that movie its due if Disney has the balls to finally make the ride out the atomic bomb in a refrigerator ride that I've always wanted in Adventureland. They can just put you in a refrigerator, throw you over the berm, and then you have to buy another ticket to get back in the park.
You can use that slingshot that they do the Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Spider-Man Stuntronic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I my wife told me that movie was bad, and that should have been a hint.
Yeah.
But I guess, as you said, I think it was great to have a new entry to kind of, I wouldn't say no, they did right some wrongs, aka Shia LaBeouf, but it was a better way to ride out with the franchise than what it had been left at previously. To the extent that most people I know who do love the franchise completely disavow that movie. They only prior to this week, they said there were only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
I heard that on Ringerverse.
Yeah.
So, and shout out to Geeky Tiki's also, who made some awesome Indiana Jones tiki mugs. Just the first 3. There's no Crystal Skull tiki mugs there. So, but, well, so yeah, go see the movie. It's definitely one of those you want to see on the big screen, though.
Yeah, go see it. Maybe we'll give a little talk about this again in a couple weeks, hopefully with Ryan, so we can give you a little bit more of a spoilery reaction. But in the meantime, we want y'all to go see it. You want to do a rating?
Yeah, and real quick too, if in case you live under a rock and don't know, all 4 movies are on Disney Plus, as well as the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, or they're calling it the Young Indiana Jones Adventures. This was a show. I think it lasted like a year or a season or 2. It didn't get canceled. It got dropped because Lucas's ambition was so high. They actually filmed it on location around the world, which was very expensive for TV in the early 90s. But you got a 10-year-old Indiana Jones, a 18-year-old Indiana Jones, and the show was great. Harrison Ford shows up a couple times. It's an awesome show. I'm so glad it's finally available to watch. I think the last time it was available was even before DVD. It might have been just video, but I mean, actors that got their starts were like Catherine Zeta-Jones, and there's a list I should have posted, but check it out. But let's do our rating. I'll let you go first, sir.
I may update this after I see it again, but I'm going to go with a 3, only because obviously it doesn't really hold a candle to the original ones that, kind of set the standard for the franchise. It's much better than the previous entry. And I wasn't a big fan of the ending, but that all being said, as far as a globetrotting adventure with an old teacher, there's not really anything else like that in theaters. So I had fun enough to go pay to see it again, keep my eyes open the whole time, and see if I get a different perspective on the ending.
Yeah, I think after this, we might have to go to 10 because there's a little bit more wiggle room with 10. Like, I would probably give it an 8.
Well, the way I see it, if we're doing 5 and 5, we add it together for the cumulative.
Exactly. Yeah. But sticking with the 5 rating, I'm going to stick with the 3.5. Again, going almost pushing towards a 4, but just because, like I said, even with its flaws, it still was a hell of a film. Really enjoyable. Loved seeing it with my parents. But I'm a huge Indy fan, like with Star Wars and Pirates and stuff. So I'll say 3.5. That's solid 3.5.
Cool. So 6.5 is not bad. It doesn't sound great, but given the current scale we're working with, anything over a 5 is a good movie. And I think, it also, if we ever get anything over an 8, that's pretty telling that it's an excellent movie. So, I reserve the right to update that when we talk about it again with Ryan. But all in all, I had a good time watching it. Better time watching it than I did sleeping through whatever part I didn't see.
Yeah. Well, right on. So, cool. So that was our review shows of some of these big summer classics, or
big summer blowouts.
Woohoo! I was actually going to use that earlier, but totally forgot. And the next one coming up, I already got my ticket for. I know you're going to see it at Disneyland, but I got my ticket for Haunted Mansion. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. I'm so excited.
I can't wait, but I will.
Yeah, because remind our listeners what you're doing or planning on.
Well, what we're doing, hopefully, although I'll leave you to stay in the park if you want to, but it has always been a dream of mine to be able to see a Disney movie and then immediately ride the ride or attraction attached to it in the park. We will, of course, be at Disneyland the first week of August, which is the week after this movie comes out, the very last day of July. So my intention is to, as I normally do, rope drop the parks and then take an afternoon break. Though instead of being at the pool, this afternoon break will be at the theater, probably the either the Cinemark over at the block so we can use our credits, or we'll go to the whatever the theater is in the Garden Walk and see that new Haunted Mansion movie, complete with a lightning lane to ride the ride immediately after. So I'm looking very much forward to that. You can look forward to us making a video describing that experience and see it right here on our YouTube. That is the DUTV. You can see all that. I might break down and go see it with Joe before, but I do really want to have that first reaction right there with the original attraction. Reaction and attraction with the Disney universe.
I might have to see Indy again when we're down there so I can ride the ride after the
There
same
we go,
day.
double dip.
And again, before, since we are now in July 2nd, I drop stuff. Which one are you selecting? Because we still have not got any other ones.
Ooh.
And for those new, we'll get to this, but our good friend Dan Parsons Art donated these. And we have they started a GoFundMe for his daughter who's going through chemo. So if you donate, which Alex did, you get to choose one of three, well, one of two, because he gave up his pick.
But yes, I gave you all the opportunity till the end of the month to get in first and have first dibs. Now I am going to take those. They're all awesome. I think I'm going to have to go with the Vader and Kylo, though. That's having him in the apple of his eye, if you will.
Well, that is yours, sir. I will give that to you as soon as possible. But if you want to try to win this Darth Raven comic cover art piece or Awesome Ahsoka, which are autographed by Dan, all you got to go is it's in our link tree on all our socials. But you can't click on this, but go to our link tree. It's on the top.
Screenshot.
Yeah, screenshot whatever you donate. We're not asking for a specific number, just a donation in particular, or whatever. I'm too much coffee. And then definitely check out our buddy Dan Parsons Art on Facebook and on Instagram.
Tell you what, I'm gonna put it like this: donate whatever you want to get one of these posters. But if you donate $50 or more, I will also send you one of our brand new Disney Universe t-shirts.
Oh, damn.
Sweeten the pot.
Yes.
So let's keep the money going a good place. Help Dan Parsons and his daughter with their chemo treatment. Keep the community, keep our community, uplift the community, helping each other out. And yeah, I will share that gift with you. Shout out again to Sunken City Designs, Lou, for making that amazing art. Go check him out for all his awesome art and products he has on his page. Again, as I said earlier, anybody who joins at any tier of the DU crew, by the end of the summer, we'll call that end of August, when Rogers the Musical and the new Wondrous Journeys fireworks show end at the Disneyland Resort. As long as you're in and part of the crew, we will send you that t-shirt. And if you donate $50 or more, I'm going to give that to the end of this month, July, because I don't know how many of those I can do, but I will commit to as many people donate $50 or more to that. Send those screenshots to us here at Disney Universe, and you will get a shirt, as well as the first two people to donate any amount will get one of those two awesome pieces of art from Dan Parsons Art.
Awesome. And who would we like to shout out from our current DU crew?
DU crew. Big shout outs to Jen, John, Alfredo, Sasquatch, Sean, and Monique. What up, y'all?
Woo-hoo.
Thanks for being part of the crew.
Awesome. And so we will be back with you guys on another live in 2 weeks. Don't forget to share our show on all socials that's out there. We are definitely heavier on Instagram, so that's DU or Disney Universe Podcast. But like I said, it's the 4th of July. So I thought one of my favorite all-time music things, patriotic, is still America Sings from Disneyland in the 80s. And I figure it's a 20-minute show. Why not? It'll add 20 minutes to the 2 hours we've been talking. But
hey, before we get out there, you mentioned in 2 weeks, but this is a big show. It's going to be, I believe we're planning to do it Monday, July 17th. Again, Summer Alive. It'll be right here on YouTube, Facebook Live. And for those of y'all listening, you will get it through your podcatchers soon thereafter. But this, of course, is Disneyland's birthday, and it is the Disney Universe Podcast birthday. So please do come check in with us on the live. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff to talk about, both the history here of this podcast, the history of Disneyland. Hopefully we'll have some friends joining us from podcast past and current. Hopefully Ryan will be able to join us as well, given his busy summer wedding schedule. But at the very least, you got us. We got you. So hope that you can join us Monday night, July 17th, for the anniversaries of Disneyland and the Disney Universe Podcast. We're going to have a lot of fun talking on that one.
yeah, thanks for reminding me, because I totally forgot. So, but enjoy America Sings. Bring back the nostalgic, or if you haven't heard it before, enjoy. You guys have a happy 4th of July. Let us know what you thought about the movies and Stan Lee, and we will see you on our birthday. So, yeah, everybody have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night.